So, people that maybe don't know Mike, tell them your story of recovery and drug use and stuff.
So I was like the worst drug addict you could possibly be. I was a trash can for drugs and alcohol. Anything that would inebriate me, I would put in my body.
And so Rudy talked about seeing lizards and stuff coming out of people's eyeballs. Did you ever have that from meth?
I was convinced that Conan O'Brien was talking to me, and I took apart my friend's television because of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but how that was the solution. Like if I was going to get into the TV,
but you look.
Somehow.
Do you ever go by the homeless now? You see the bikes all dismantled.
Yeah.
That's meth, right?
Yeah.
They just take. It just makes you take things apart.
It just made me, and I'm not like a handyman, and so the fact that I was able to. This was like a '90s television too. This like big box.
Yeah.
This gigantic fucking box, and I just dismantled that fucker, trying to get to the middle of it, and I was going to find Conan O'Brien. I was dead set on finding Conan O'Brien, and I was going to talk to him because he was sending me messages. It was...
What were they?
That I need to get inside the television.
Thank you, Conan.
Yeah.
Have you met him since?
No.
Yeah. Well,
he's a tall man.
He's a very tall man. Very smart guy.
That's all I know.
So meth was a big feature. And
I love stimulants.
Yeah. And so you got meth psychosis.
Yeah, I got meth psychosis a lot. But, the things that started getting really dark towards the end, I was living on the East Coast, and I started mixing heroin with cocaine.
Yeah.
Because on the East Coast, especially at the time, there wasn't a lot of meth. I got back into cocaine. And I loved to smoke it. So I would cook crack rocks and I would smoke my crack and I would be quite content. But then I met this guy who he always had cocaine and he always had heroin and he smoked speedballs. He was way into smoking speedballs, which is when you mix the two. Mm-hmm. And I found that, that was manna from heaven.
It was on.
Oh yeah, it was manna from heaven.
And that's when you started having...
But I started going to the hospital a lot.
Right.
I started overdosing like crazy.
Cardiac arrest.
Yes.
One after the other.
Yes, all the time. So many that it stopped being special.
And so maybe the 10th time you decide I better get sober.
No, I had nothing to do with it. Right. It was totally... I clearly had a serious problem because I was getting rushed to the hospital all the time and I had no job and no life.
Literally with your people pounding on the chest, paddles out.
Yeah. Like
you were supposed to be in college at the time, weren't you?
I was supposed to be studying stuff.
Okay.
Which I wasn't.
Shocking.
Needless to say.
Yeah. Well, you were studying how to cook meth or coke. I mean,
it's funny you say that because I couldn't pass basic 101 chemistry. Mm-hmm. If you paid me any amount of money, there's no way I could go to any high school. But I was a damn genius when it came to cooking crack and speedballs and stuff like that, distilling it down. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how resourceful I became.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how that works.
But I moved back to Los Angeles because I had nothing. I had no money. I had no job. I had no anything. And I was just sitting on this guy's couch who was the gayest guy on earth. And he never made a move on me ever.
Which is weird.
It's the weirdest thing ever. And I got to be honest, at that time in my life, if he's like, here's 4 grams, all you got to do is blow me, I totally would have done it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I totally would have done it. But I was in a bad way. So I moved back to LA where I'm from. And I continued using. I was living with my parents because they were so concerned, obviously. Yeah. But I still wasn't about to get clean. I kind of cleaned myself up in a bit because I had removed myself from that dangerous situation. But I was still drinking every day, and I was still smoking weed every day, and I still used as much coke as I could get my hands on. I was at a hotel in Inglewood. All by myself, in the middle of the day. I just had like this long night of just blowing lines by myself. And I remember I was sitting on the edge of the bed watching Jenny Jones, and I had a 40, and it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And now I can only look back on it. I don't remember it within my own body. I can only look as it only. Like the memory only is like I'm watching myself on closed circuit television.
Out of body, yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking down on myself, and I can't. For no reason. I didn't get in any car accident. I wasn't going to jail. A judge didn't force me. My parents didn't disavow me. I just, for no reason whatsoever, got up and walked to the Yellow Pages and called Las Encinas Hospital in Pasadena and asked them if they had any beds available. They said they did, and I checked in that night, and that was the last time I used drugs and alcohol.
Crazy. You had a girlfriend at the time, didn't you?
No.
No,
there was no woman that would put up with that.
Okay. And you have a few other using stories that are extraordinary. Three come to mind.
Okay.
One is Paris Poo.
Paris Poo story.
The other is the talking in front of the mirror for a couple days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was Amsterdam. That was nuts.
And Paris Poo. Oh, and the other is the meth guy
that's shooting the cat? All right. So I'm going to Paris, right? I'm going to make... no, actually, I was going to England. I flew to London. And I remember it was so funny because talking to our mutual friend Jillian Barbary about it, about how things have changed so dramatically since 9/11. Air travel. I walked onto that plane with a handful of meth just in my hand, like a bag of meth.
In your hand?
I just walked onto the plane.
Oh my God.
I don't remember. I just remember distinctly like having a baggie of meth in my hand. I don't know why I didn't put it in my pocket. I don't know. I was just like,
why should you?
Well, but that was a great flight, man. I just blue lines a hole. I was going to the bathroom all the time, and I remember I was like totally inappropriately hitting on the stewardess. I was like 19. I'm hitting on.
By the way, you were roided out at the time.
And this grown woman.
Mike was a bodybuilder for a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
You're all roided out.
Roided out of my mind. Stupid tattoos all over me, and I'm like, "Hey, baby, you want to do some meth?"
Oh no! You asked?
No, but I would totally be like, "Do I need a double? Garkin, tray fast, make it a double." Because there's nothing you need more than alcohol when you're high on stimulants. Of course. So I'm going to the bathroom and I'm doing doing a bunch of meth, and I'm drinking. I'm just fucking shoveling drinks into my body. By the time I land in London, I'm already a wreck. I go to London and I say, all right, I have no friends here. I have no idea where I'm going to stay or anything. But I know from like punk rock documentaries that Piccadilly Circus is like where shit pops off. So I said, cabman, take me to Piccadilly Circus.
Cabman.
So I go to this pub, and sure enough, within like a half hour, I find a guy who's got ecstasy.
It's uncanny how
he's got a bunch. And I was like, I want ecstasy, and he said, okay, even better. You buy 200 pills, and then you can sell some, pay for all your drugs throughout your trip. I was like,
done.
Genius, man. So I bought 200 pills of ecstasy. And I remember we were playing this bowling game, but it was like on top of the bar. It would like with discs, and you were bowling, and I'm just bowling. I'm eating ecstasy, and now everything. I haven't slept in God knows how long. So they're like, I keep going, where can I get cocaine? Because that's what I really have a yearning for. And they're like, well, to tell you the truth, mate, cocaine isn't really popping off here in London. I'll tell you where cocaine's going really well. Paris. Paris got a great cocaine scene right now. I was like, all right, let's hit the channel. So
that night.
Yeah. So I get these maniacs that I met up with, and I don't know at all. And whatever luggage I had, I get on the channel and I get my ass to Paris. So we get up in Paris, and sure enough, I go to this club called Absinthe. Okay, I remember this distinctly. This place called Absinthe, and it was kind of like this like loungy vibe place. So we go in there, and there's dudes, like super suave dudes with a bunch of cocaine. So I buy some cocaine, and that's really the last thing I remember. The next thing I remember is I wake up in the hallway of a hotel.
Face down.
I'm face down in the hallway of a hotel.
And a hotel you don't know.
I have no idea. And it's a nice hotel, so I know I'm not staying there.
Right.
And I'm in the hallway of this hotel, and I wake up, and I'm wearing nothing but boxers.
Roided out in your boxers.
That are filled with shit. So now
production staff likes the Paris Poo
I need you to know that I don't speak a lick of French, and I'm in a place that I don't know where I am with no keys, passport, or money or anything.
Well, you're in your underwear.
I'm in my underwear
that are filled with shit.
That's filled with shit.
Yeah. So
I go over to the elevator, and I'm like, boom, and I'm like, please don't let there be people in there. Please don't let there be people in there. Please don't let. Sure enough, Japanese tourists. I open it. And I'm like, oh no, I'll wait for the next one.
Steroids.
I'll wait for the next one. So I wait. Finally, I get an elevator with no people in it. I back my ass up in because I don't want people to see my shit. And I run as soon as I get out of the lobby. I run, and I remember.
Wait, somebody got in the elevator with you, didn't they?
Eventually, like people did, but I had my back to the wall. I just remember
you're in your underwear still. I mean,
but still, but it's boxers, and this is France. I mean, people show ding
nice
dong.
Hotel. You smell like shit.
I probably smelled like shit. Yes, Dr. Drew.
All right. Door opens, lobby.
I run like I've never run before into the daylight,
into the street, like out the front of the lobby.
I remember the sunlight burned my eyes like I was a fucking vampire. I was like, ah!
So it was daytime.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was daytime and it was a beautiful sunny day. So I go and I sit on a park bench and I'm like, what am I going to do?
In your underwear.
Yeah. I'm like, what am I going to do?
Full of shit.
What am I going to do? People were probably convinced I was a bum.
Yeah.
And I was, or like a gypsy begging.
It's like one of those horrible dreams you wake up, where you're like, you're in your classroom.
Giving a speech naked. Yeah. No, this is way worse actually because I'm in a foreign country with no passport.
With your, in your underwear filled with feces.
Yeah. And I, you know what? And it's funny. Wasn't all that concerned about not having keys or clothes or no passport. I was like, where's those 200 pills of fucking ecstasy and all my cocaine?
Okay.
Because I know I bought cocaine too. I was like, where is all this cocaine and where is ecstasy?
You sat down on a park bench.
I'm scanning the scene. I'm like, oh, that looks familiar. I see this hostel. And I'm like, that's
where I'm staying.
That something's up with that place, and I'm piecing it together. So I go into the hostel. The guy's got a shit-eating grin behind the counter. He sees me. He's just like, oh, but you had a good long night? I'm like, wait, so I'm staying here? Is that what you're saying? He's like, oh, yes, you are staying here. Go to the second floor, room number 4. So I go up there, and I'm like, can I have a key? Because I don't have, obviously, he gives me a key. But I walk up, and I remember the deadbolt, the door is open.
The door to your room is just open.
The deadbolt is preventing the door from shutting.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's shut, but the door is open. I didn't even need a key. I slowly open the door and I poke my head in, and I'm like, "What is going to be on the other side here?" Because I'm really confused. I'm really scared. I poke the door open, and there's probably 75 in this one room hostel room. This is it's a teeny one room place. It was like bed, television, and so like a nightstand.
Yeah.
There's probably, I'm not exaggerating, probably like 50 to 60 plastic wine glasses. Some of them empty, some of them half full. Some of them with lipstick on them.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, there's chicks here. A million cigarette butts all over the place.
Yeah.
And my clothes perfectly folded on my bed with my passport, everything like perfectly folded. So at some point, there was lots of people in my room with me.
Yes.
And I was partying with them, and we left, and I decided I needed to take my clothes off before I go. And then whenever I got to wherever I was going, I shit myself.
And then fell asleep on the floor.
And then fell asleep in the...
Face down on the floor.
Yeah.
You missed quite a night, I guess.
Yeah.
And in part of that trip, you ended up in Amsterdam talking to a mirror for 3 days or whatever.
That trip rounded itself out in Amsterdam, and I just remember having a long, very scary conversation with myself in the mirror. And I was crying. Why is this happening to me? And I would think that the mirror guy was saying stuff back to me, like, pull yourself together. You got to get yourself together. Come on.
Mike in the mirror saying that.
I know. I can't pull myself together. Look at everything around. My brain isn't making any sense. My synapses aren't even fucking firing anymore.
How long did that go for?
What seemed like 45 minutes, it was probably 7 hours.
Just standing in front of the mirror.
It was all of my time in Amsterdam. I was going to spend a night in Amsterdam. I spent the entirety of it. No hookers, no fucking weed shops, no nothing. Just talking to myself in the mirror. I had a full mental breakdown.
That's when you thought you better lighten up.
Better pack up back to good old US of A.
Oh, that's when you went home. Okay, got it. Well, that's Mike, everybody.